Welcome to this X8R video demonstrating how to install our replacement bearings in the Renault Scenic 2 wiper linkage arm. Start by opening the bonnet. The bonnet release is located in the passenger side footwell. Pull the tab next to the Renault badge to release the bonnet. Once the bonnet is open, lock in using the bonnet stay. Remove the long rubber strip across the scuttle panel to allow access to the scuttle panel. It isn't necessary to remove the whole scuttle panel, just the section needed. Remove the 3 bolts holding the section of the scuttle panel on. Once all 3 bolts are removed, use a flat blade screwdriver to pry back the scuttle panel. You may need to do this in different places to allow the scuttle panel to release. Once the scuttle panel is removed, you need to remove the caps on the wiper arms. Using a flat blade screwdriver, lever these off to allow access to the nut. Remove the nut from the wiper arm. Repeat again for the other side. Once both nuts are removed, if the wiper arm doesn't want to be removed, refit the nuts. Using a wiper puller, set the wiper puller up correctly, making sure the wiper puller is straight. Wind on. This will allow you to remove the wiper arm. If you do not have a wiper puller, refit the nut and gently give it a tap with either a rubber hammer, a mallet or a small hammer, just lightly tapping to give it a slight amount of shock to remove the wiper arm. Repeat for the other side. Now you're free to remove the wiper arm from the vehicle. Once the arm is removed from the vehicle, you need to remove the covers on the underside of the arm with a small tab. Push the tab in to release the cover. Now, flipping the arm over, lift the cover up gently to remove the appropriate cover. There are 2 covers on the arms. Using a flathead screwdriver, pry back the cover. This will allow the cover to drop slightly. Slide the cover back to be able to remove from the arm. Repeat for the other side, but on this side there are 2 small tabs on the sides which need to be levered back. Lever back the 2 tabs on the side. Repeat again, sliding back to remove the cover from the arm. Removing the smaller arm from the main arm. Using the wiper puller, set the wiper puller up, making sure both feet are underneath the correct position of where you want to pull. Wind the puller down. This will allow you to remove the small arm away from the main arm. There is a small lip on the spleen that retains the bearing. This needs to be ground down to allow removal of the bearing. We used a Dremel with a sanding disc. You could also use a grinder for this. Once you have ground it down, using a 4mm socket, centerize the socket on the spindle, making sure it is not on the bearing. Using the wiper puller again, making sure the feet are underneath the bearing in the correct position, wind the wiper puller down. You may have to adjust the socket slightly a few times to make sure it is sitting centrally on the spindle and making sure it is not on the bearing. Wind the puller down. This will allow you to remove the bearing. The bearing will start to lift. Once the bearing is removed, you need to drill a small hole in the centre of the spindle to allow the nut and bolt to go through on the refit. Making sure the drill bit is centralised on the spindle, drill through. It is worth running the drill up and down a few times to make sure the hole is correctly drilled. Refitting the bearing. Slide the bearing back on the spindle. You may be able to get the bearing on the spindle a few mil. Clamp the bearing and the spindle into the vise and wind the vise back. The bearing will slide down the spindle, seating itself correctly. It's the same process for refitting the small arm into the main arm. Slide the bearing into the main arm, again clamping it into the vise, winding the vise back, and the bearing will seat itself into the main arm. Fitting the screw and nut. Slide the screw through the arm, making sure it is the correct way round. If you fit it the other way, it will not fit when you come to refit the plastic cover. Slide the washer over and fit the nut. Tighten it up, making sure it is nice and tight. Repeat this process for the other bearing. Refit the covers. The covers will just slide over and clip into place. Slide the bigger cover in and then slot down. Move the other two covers out of the way and it will clip into place. Refit the wiper linkage arms and test the repair. This completes the repair. Thank you for watching this X8R video. If you have any questions, you can contact us on 01843 446643 or you can email us at sales@x8r.co.uk. Thank you.